Hi, my name is Alejandro Perez Perez, and this is the AI Coffee Podcast. Every week, you will have one episode regarding one disruptive aspect of technology and artificial intelligence for the time you drink a cup of coffee. Today, we are going to talk about love, about empathy, about ethics, but also about marketing. For doing that, we have a very special guest. His name is Gerard. Welcome, Gerard.
Hello to everyone.
Gerard Compte is a growth hacking pioneer and CEO of Find That Lead, a company revolutionizing outbound marketing through automation and growth strategies. He also is a world traveler, an advocate for ethical growth, and a lecturer in international marketing. Okay, welcome, Gerard. Now we are going to start talking about yourself. So the first question I might have for you is, I was curious. I was looking at your LinkedIn profile and I saw that you like traveling a lot around the world, and this is very important for you. So, how was this traveling part of your life influence your approach to growth marketing?
Thanks to everyone for listening. Traveling at the time was a little way of escaping reality. It just came out from COVID, and kind of like while we were in COVID, we were close at home, and we were designing some dreams. We just wanted to travel, and one thing happened is that we got the van. We started traveling like just for 1 month, and it was then when we decided with my partners, like, shall we just go to Thailand? And it really affected our life in many ways. How we live today, it was affected on how we were traveling for 3 years around. We went from here to Turkey, Europe, Ukraine, and everything with the van and my wife. We even had a baby on the way, so it really changed our life. And we didn't finish the trip, but with the baby, it's kind of like we had to set up everything, and it really changed the way we perceive the world today. Thanks to the way we were living those few years, it was lonely. Traveling is very lonely. Traveling is like very introspective, and once now that it's kind of like it's finished, we're like on a. It's a little bit sad to remember the places where we were, and it's a bit nostalgic. So I am nostalgic a lot, thinking on what we had and where we are now. So we're very good. So, but we live in a flat in Barcelona, and we miss a lot traveling. We miss a lot the adventure. Today, on the structure that we have with the family, it's not possible. Well, it's possible, but not for us. So
Mhm. So, just because you said that you in COVID time you realized that you really miss traveling, and you bought a van for traveling. And just a question that came to my mind while you were saying that. Were you starting the company at this time with the van, or before or after? Can
that's
you
very
explain
good.
more that?
That's a very good question. So we started with Sasha, my partner, with a motorbike and a tent. So you don't need a camper van to go around and travel. So you can get a motorbike and a tent and sleep anywhere in the
Wow.
beach on the mountain. So this is tip number one. If you think you need a van to travel, no, just do Camino Santiago, just do whatever. So the last thing you need is a van to travel because it's a little pain in the ass. But that's number one tip. The thing we had the second thing is we had a car and then we got a small van, but after COVID, on those 4 months, we saved a little bit of money, and we had some money aside. So we said we really like this travel, and we got the California beach a little bit better and stuff. But it was a decision we didn't thought where it was going to take us. We thought it was just going to be for the weekends and stuff. But remember, we went for 1 month after COVID. Like, I think it was on July, August that we went around Spain. Like, wow, we could really live here. We could really work here, and I was very lucky that Find That Lead at the time was a stable business. I was kind of like not growing, but it was like we were making good money. It was between 400, 500K on a yearly basis. So it was, we had money in the bank. We didn't have any debts. We didn't have any investors. So we could do whatever we wanted. And it was one thing that everyone was scared of going to the office. Everyone was scared of talking. Like, people was like, my business partner was like, we couldn't even shake hands. We couldn't eat together. It was a moment that being in an office was not fun. It was opposite of fun. It was dangerous. It was dangerous being around people. So Sasha and I were never vaccinated. We were not against anything, but so we got vaccines and everything. But it was kind of like step out of this mentality, and we just said, let's go. And we went with the van, and we connected very well with my partner, and we just went, and we had an totally different experience of the rest of the world. Seriously, we felt special for those years, and I'm very lucky because, for example, when we arrived to Turkey, Spain was fully locked. It was the second lock, and we were like on Turkey, traveling, going to the beach, because with Spanish passport we didn't have to be restrained. So usually the wall is not the same for everywhere. Like, and this is something that sometimes we feel, we felt very lucky at the time that, and it really, the impact it did to our business was very positive. I started working less, making more money, having more impact. Sasha was making a lot more money. Like, her business was really growing. So both of us experienced a kind of like a flow of people who admire us for what we were doing, and then we were traveling. So it was very sweet moment. It was, still are, but it's a different moment now. But thinking of where we didn't have a plan. Also, it was a little bit unconscious, if I tell you now. So being not so controlling of everything sometimes is probably the best thing. Like, before the interview, I said, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a about things. I don't do it on purpose. It really happens to me. So a lot of times, I'm not. I nearly never meet deadlines. I'm terrible meeting deadlines, and I'm terrible doing follow-up emails. I'm terrible sending very important offers. Am I mm, self boycotting myself? Like, it's like, is it this not helping me to grow to the next level? Maybe yes. Maybe some things I have to. But with the trip, kind of like we felt very much in, not for the whole trip. And by the end of the trip, it was just like we had Astro, who's our baby, who I remember we were in Greece and like, shall we have a baby? It's like, yeah, we can try having a baby. It's going to take a few months, and by December we. So first time we tried, the Astro came. So he was very quick. We were expecting a few months. So why I tell you that once Astro came, our reality changed a lot. So you became more, you want to be nesting, more the mother than the father, and you really need routines that traveling didn't help at the time. And we were both working, kind of like we did work kind of a lot of hours, but we were traveling, so we had a very good routine. And obviously, with a new partner, a new baby in the house, it changes completely to another. It's not better or worse, but to another reality. We were not just two people working for their careers, and this is, I'm giving like things that happened. That was based on our experience. Will I do it again? 100%. But I would have like to have a base, because we didn't have a house at the time. We left everything and we had the baby, and then we were traveling, and it was like, wow, are we unconscious? Are we brave? And we had a good money. The money was not, we didn't make millions, but it was a good like entrance of money that it was always relaxed that we could stop. And then by the end, we were, it became our traveling was becoming kind of like, oh, we have to move, we have to go somewhere else. So we were not enjoying it anymore. And
Hmm.
some of the things that we had very strict routines with Sasha. So Monday to Thursday, we'll stop somewhere. We work from 9 to 5, 9 to 6. In the afternoons, we'll go for walks. Weekends, we'll travel somewhere, city. So we had like a few things that help us to. But with the new baby, it was not. We were changing countries or cities without really seeing anything, without really enjoying. So at, then we said, we're not enjoying the trip anymore,
Hmm.
and it happens. It happens.
Hmm. So now I see why you usually talk while you are creating content on LinkedIn, for example, to talk about love, about traveling, about empathy, about ethics also, because I guess this is very important for you. As you mentioned in your trips, you um, got involved in the places you were visiting. You also try to keep this balance between life and work. So I can imagine why this is so important. But sometimes I think it might be really tricky to maintain this balance while you are trying also to talk about growth, because growth usually is very competitive, is very aggressive, or this is the idea I have. Or at least that many creators said about. So, can you explain a little bit better your approach to handle this ethical approach in such a competitive space?
It's funny that Alejandro, it's I have an internal fight with me because I know I could push harder, I know I could make more money, but this is very hard. Let's accept I'm a loser. That's it, man. I lost it. I'm not on the first. I'm not on the second. I'm not on the third. But I'm there. Okay, so if you're in the Olympics, you are there. So accepting that I don't have to be the first. I'm the best. I'm the same person being first, second, third. Okay, accepting. So I lost the race of being the first. That's one thing. Okay. So for a long time, I really suffered this because finally it was growing to a speed that I knew was going to be something big. But then companies like Lemleys, Expandy, some of my competitors just like went through me, and they grow like to another level. And then was like some very like I had a lot of frustration and a lot of self anger. I was like, okay. And I remember going back to I do kind of like my yearly plannings, 3 month plannings, but I usually write them and I forgot the things. And every year for the last 8 years, one of the things was travel the world, uh, travel the world, have millions, have blah blah blah. So everything was like very related to making a lot of money, having some money things, and then traveling the world. That and I never and I tell you that somehow the universe prepared me to travel around the world with a camper van, which I never had imagined I would be traveling, which was much cheaper than anything. You don't have to be rich. So, and what I was thinking there is like, oh, by the way, I started to do psychology a week. That for me was it helped a lot. Therapy on the van. My wife is from Argentina, and they're like everyone goes to therapy in Argentina, like everyone, even the dogs in there. So um, so it was kind of like recommended at home to do 1 hour therapy of psychology a week, and I did a lot of therapy during the trip. So it was a very safe. So in a way, it sounds a little bit doesn't matter what we do, a lot of things come from inside the growth. Sometimes by meeting one specific person in one specific place maybe give you more growth than making 100 posts. So really believing in yourself in another level. That one thing that we do a lot with my business partners saying, I am Gerard Compte, and wherever I do, it always have a good outcome for me. The self-talk, oh man, self-talk beats ChatGPT. Self-talk beats anything in the world, and I can tell you that. So sometimes kind of like growth, um, how we do growth, how we do business, how we talk, how we interact, how we do everything is based on how we interact ourselves. If I'm meeting some, and this is like what is related to business, everything is related to business when you are a person. And if I have a shit customer, if I have a shit deal, it's your fucking fault, my friend. It's nothing else outside. And going deep into yourself to see why your business is not growing enough, why X and Y. So it's always your fault. And I think this is one, that's the number one thing. And if we're not, then I see, I don't know, people like Grant Cardone or pe- like, wow, how can they have so much million? How they can be growing so much? No, and I try to give myself no, they're cheating or they're kind of, you try to give excuses if you see someone with a better body, a better car, a better life. Maybe you can reach the same level and you're boycotting yourself. It's a lot of things that I talk to myself a lot on this. Alejandro, it's been on November last year. They acquired Find That Lead, so a dream came, and this happened out of the blue. Seriously, I can tell you that this was completely magical. We were planning to sell Find That Lead for a few years, but it just didn't happen. And it was in a moment that we were struggling to grow to more customers. We were struggling for the product. We just did a launch. I wasn't there a lot. And then someone just came and said, and I can tell you that that was a miracle, like milagro in all the words. It just came and it's like, Gerard, would you like me to buy the company? They saw something that I didn't see. And in that moment, I knew the impact we have as a personal. And it was thank you. It was thanks for posting on LinkedIn. I was very regular posting on LinkedIn. Fran from Clientify just mm, knew the power. He needed someone who was doing what we were doing. So in this case, that was like one of the things I can tell you is to believe in yourself. And even myself, like it's difficult to believe in myself. It sounds a little bit. So that will be the number one thing based on anything. Doesn't matter if you do art, if you do growth, if you do, it's how you talk every morning to yourself, how you talk to your kids, how you talk to your wife, how do you talk to yourself. I don't know if this answers anything, Alejandro, but I hope that.
Yes, I think so, and I get your point of trying to keep like a mix of your personal identity, your personal thoughts, your personal values, also with the business, which I think is very important because it cannot work otherwise. This is my point of view. If you try to like separate your personal and professional lives as they were like two different entities, I think this is first this is worthless because you keep away your values to your business, which I think is like the lack of everything. And also, it's very tiring, very demanding, and very, very hard for your mental health. So, yeah, I get your point. But I have like a question regarding love. So, when you say love, is more your self love, like as you were saying, like ChatGPT works worse than yourself if you have good self-esteem. So, can you explain more? I mean, you talk a lot about in LinkedIn, I
Yeah.
know, and I saw many posts, and some of them are very controversial. Recently, I
Mm,
saw some. So, is it true?
okay.
I mean, how can you balance that? Yeah.
Okay. Number one thing is you have to vary where is Find That Lead my business. My business is it's a tool. If it's used wrongly, can be used for doing spam. Number one. Okay, so I'm kind of like I manufacture knife. If you manufacture knife, someone can use it to kill someone, or someone can use it to cut the meat to cook for the kids. So my business is a tool that can be misused. I know when I built Find That Lead was because I was in a state was not where I wanted to be, and I knew I read the 4 Hour Way from Tim Ferriss, and he said contact people who you look up, send them an email, and tell them if you they want to mentor you. So I was doing that professionally. Like I was like, and from here I came out from on other tours like Find That Lead, but they were not like the ones I wanted. That's like 10 years ago, and we built Find That Lead with Christian Vitals to the stage that we wanted. But I knew always had to be sharing why I was doing that. Find That Lead always is find contacts, send them an email, and I always said send an emails with love, because to me, and this came to it transcended a little bit more. So if I do an email with love on my workplace to contact new customers, and if I put all my passion, I'm very sure it's going to have a good outcome. Doesn't matter. That's it. So okay, number one is that. And if you, I don't know if you like the film from Interstellar, and one of the things they say, uh, love transcend time and space, and to me that was very important. Like I was like, fuck, man, this is so important. And the same for the feelings that I I get a lot of call emails, and the ones that they're very personal, they tell me something. I knew they work on the message. I knew they put some extra. I don't know, even like sending Aaron Ross from Predictable Revenue was sending pictures of him with the kids. Wow, that was very personal, and to me, it touched me. And obviously, this goes like deeper. So doesn't matter how many actions or how busy you are. If you feel shit, your business going to go shit. And the opposite. I knew when we created Find That Lead, it was done out of love. It was never done out of necessity as such. It was because we had the idea. We always follow like we had something that it always helped us to go on the right direction. I don't know. It was. I think it was an angel or something. Seriously, I like, like they do. Like Christian don't believe in miracles. I do believe in miracles because, and also we had. I always had like I had people who was telling me, Gerard, just like keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, and we didn't do actions just based on the money because we would have done probably would have gone bigger on volume, bigger on money. How many times we see companies going bigger money, bigger on time, and then they kick out the CEO or they lose everything? Was it an? I was on. I was. I had fear. Maybe I had fear, but I knew my mental health had to be like. I came out from. For me, it's very easy to go into addictions. It's very easy to go into stress. It's very easy to lose really like. I knew I wanted to have everything. I don't want to say under control, but I didn't want to be scared of not paying the invoices, the team. I knew I wanted to have money in the bank. I knew I wanted to be relaxed with an automated business. So I knew what were my like my values, and growing the company, the stress levels, mistreating people, not being on top of my business was not what I wanted. So we designed something that it was make us happy at the time. It's funny that saying said that sometimes when we see what we built and what we check with Christian, and it's like, fuck man, we got it wrong. It's funny because you see the baby you grow, you see to the stage, and you see the where it's been and everything. It's like, oh, we did it wrong. We had something bigger. Look, Apollo, our main competitor, it was after us, and they grew to 100 and something millions and all that. So it's funny that I have this dualism
Mhm.
constantly. It's very difficult, and also at home, like. Uh, with my wife, there's dualisms, and I know one thing, and this is, if anyone listen, if everyone listening, I would only tell you, this is my only tip for today. Is like say your name. Soy Gerard Comte Duran y todo lo que hago me sale bien. My name is Gerard Comte Duran. Wherever I do, I have a good outcome. This is my only tip, and if you say it every moment, your brain tries to fuck you up. Sorry about the misword, but that every time your brain tries to boycott yourself, it's something something inside you, it becomes like you became stronger, you became harder, you became, and doesn't matter whatever you do. If so, if you know by a true self, whatever you do is going to have a good outcome. Oh man, you do whatever, and it's a self. You know, fake it until you make it. Obviously, because is
Hmm.
it true? Whatever I do, that's not true. Whatever I do doesn't have a good outcome. But by repeating it, it does end up always with a good outcome,
Hmm.
and it for us is it's the same. I know now we're growing my baby Astro. He's nearly 2 years. I know he's going to have a brilliant life. I know, and I'm going to put. It's a lot of hard work, but I know by talking to him well, he's going to be a good person. He's going to be a loving, caring partner, son, a brother. And this is the same for the company.
Hmm.
Love is everything, and I this is it. And we don't talk enough about love. We talk about KPIs based on the metrics of visitors with love, and it's going to be like mental health on the companies. It's going to be it's going to have a number in a few years. How many people has depression? How many people had anxiety? What's the level of anxiety in the companies? Um, it's sad to say. The other day, I listened the founder of LinkedIn, Hoffman. He was saying, if you're not fully obsessed with your project and you have other things, it's not going to go well. Sad enough, it's true. If you're not mentally obsessed and you don't have anything in your plate, your business is not going to go to the stage that you want. And this is very sad. So you have to go crazy obsessed. Look, this avocado, Nico Avocado. I don't know if you saw the transformation of this guy. He was like, I don't know, 300 kilos, eating like crazy, and he lost 150 kilos. And he said it was a project during 2 years. So if you not go crazy on something, you will not be seen usually. And so it's this boycott. Shall I love myself and be outside of this race? Or shall I be on top of it and show? Oh man,
Yeah.
we go to a deep hole. I can go for
Yeah,
hours on
true.
that.
No, but I get that. I mean, love is very relevant, even though this. I mean, Interstellar is one of my favorite films.
Ah,
I'm a
good.
physicist. I don't know if you knew it. So, yeah. But anyway, this sentence is very hard for me to think about because space and time for me are really relevant as I am a physicist. But well, I know I get the point, and also I agree with you that love is very important. Love yourself and also love what you are doing. This is very relevant. Yeah, true. This is why I'm doing this, because I love, not because I have a strategy or something behind. This is more, yeah, something I love. But well, anyway, this podcast is focused on AI mostly, even though sometimes I mean, it's I like to have people as guests like you to talk about all other things all around, because I think they are relevant for the audience as well. But what about AI? Let's talk about AI. Let's talk about my book. So let's talk about AI, and let's mix AI, growth, and LinkedIn. How do you see this landscape, this combination in the next, for example, 2, 5 years? How do you see them all?
If you know, like, if you know how to implement it, it's funny because for creating, to me at least, from my point of view, for creating the content, people is going to be looking for more personal content, more faces, not more AI stuff. But in the other hand, companies going to be creating the content and distributing things to AI. I don't know, things that you don't see. If you apply AI, it's all good to me. For example, you create a piece of content that probably you make it based on AI, but based on the prompts of the company. The ads, who's going to be making sure that the ads are properly the ads are properly like, it's going to be the AI. The ads shouldn't be made with AI. In a way, I tell you, like, real faces, real companies. Today we're building the new website for Clientify, and one of the things that we said is we don't want any AI generated image. Today, even that they're amazing, we want real people who, if they track who they are, it is Juan Pablo, or if Anna, or if it's Gerard, who's in the company, even if it's illustrations and you do them with AI, make sure it's people behind, because company is going to buy people, companies are going to buy people. It can make a superstar. So today anyone can take their LinkedIn profile and just add the text to chat or to whoever and make it amazing. So to me it's going to be just an extra. People were working on type recorders like on the, or and now they're based on computers. That's it. If you know how to do it, it's going to be a big difference. I'm terrible on everything, just to let you know. So to me, the teams that we have around, they're going to be making sure that the videos are well edited, the videos. So if you are not capable of doing, no problem. Make sure you have people around who's capable, because it's not just putting a prompt on ChatGPT and making a post. That's not how it works, my friend. And this is the beauty. Make sure you have an amazing content. Make sure someone is using the AI to do it properly, and making a full strategy is based on AI. Yes, but people have to know how to put them up, and how you. For example, the other day is like, oh, I tried to make a research and it didn't work. No, the research worked perfectly, but they don't know your depth on the information. So you have to make sure your depth is fully put it there. Now we're trying to. So we try to build an AI tool for find that lead that do call emails. Oh man, this is difficult. It's more difficult than what we expect, because it's not just ChatGPT and putting the prompt, make a call email for X and Y based on that. What about of the depths of information that I know that I want a short email? I want that it's got 3 or 4 sentences. I want to have something nice in the beginning. So the prompt that we're generating is super extend, and the depth of the information that you need to put a prompt before sending you a correct email, it even makes me anxious to think how much information they need. It's repeatable then, but the preparation is extremely hard. And well, obviously, if I don't want to say if you don't use it, you're out of it, but it's going to be. It's just you're just using computer or typewriter. Is it writers who use typewriters? Yeah, maybe one in the world. I don't know anyone else, but so it's part of our day-to-day life. And companies are putting little by little. Everyone is adding layers of AI on everything, and it's making us so much better in many ways. And
Mhm.
the world is going to make sure that it's just a glove to help us to see, make us better. I don't know
Yeah.
if it helps you. It's a very broad it's that, but
It's complicated to predict future with AI, and at this time at least, I don't know if in a couple of years it's going to be more stable. Who knows? But I agree with you that people connect with people and not with AI. This is true. I have tested on LinkedIn actually a couple of times writing posts with ChatGPT, and they don't work. They don't work. People notice them, even though they. I mean, now I notice myself that they are written by ChatGPT, but other people that maybe have never heard about well, of course they have heard about ChatGPT, but they have never used it for that. They'll notice that something is weird, like really artificial, really lack of personality, or I mean, I see that, and they don't work the same as if you write yourself even 2 sentences with a personal like point of view, or personal something from your business, or like, even that you went on holidays and you like had a great time. Even that, I think it works much better rather than a really sophisticated post with ChatGPT with a lot of hashtags at the end. That this is like the proof of ChatGPT, and I stop it, as you said. It's worthless, even though you can use it for creativity, for having ideas, for giving you, I mean, like ideas. This is really interesting. But then at the end of the day, it's better to rewrite it yourself, even if you. I mean, I'm not a mother. I mean, English is not my mother language, so sometimes if I write in English, I know that I can write something wrong, but it's even better. I mean, it's like now I think we all
Intended
prefer these
mistakes.
things.
Yes.
Mistakes are valuable now.
Yeah, I like it. And one of the things, because when I write, my team knows that it's me writing two things. Number one is I don't put um, in Spanish when you're going to make a question, you have interrogation sign in front and the back. I don't never do the front. I always only do the back, and then I always have a space with all my interrogations. It's funny, but my team knows. Oh, you didn't write this. Okay, so I have like they know how I write because and also put a lot of. So everyone have a different style. The same when I write emails, I make sure that like so people looks for this. And obviously, I think the secret of a very successful prompt engineer AI will be making sure that the things that they make is as regular as a person, as a human being. And nowadays you can see like some prints that they're made from AI to with that looks as good as possible. So what is going to be important is what story is behind. So what's the story? Is it made with AI? Perfect. But is it made with AI on a pen, on a building, a top? So the story behind is going to be, and we humans, and we need the story behind how much is a perfume. It's how much is a perfume. It's made by a machine. What I want to tell you is what's the story behind, what's who's having it, who, which influencer, how you talk, how we share, and also one thing that there are so many niches now. We were talking about a friend that we have about podcast. Podcast, man. Whoever is not doing podcast, they're fire. So seriously, podcast will be as important as YouTube in 2, 3, 4 years. Everyone, and it's going to be so niche and so specific. You can well, human being like everyone has an Instagram, so everyone will going to have a podcast talking about their point of views, the professional thoughts. So there's something that is changing. It helps us nowadays. You have a software that's so helping you for the software, for platform to share. So in a way, it's like podcast. And if you use AI to for the picture, for the sharing, for the structure, for the question, so it helping you to be a better person. So that's my
So no, no, it's very relevant and it links really nice with one of the last questions, Gerard. So I wrote you on LinkedIn a couple of days ago, actually, as a comment on one of your posts, because you were talking about LinkedIn top boys and also about podcast. Now you talk about podcast. So now I have like an idea and a question for you. Is it possible to become a LinkedIn top voice through a
easy.
podcast? Okay, let me know how
Easy,
to do it,
easy,
please.
Alejandro. I will give it for you for free, man. After the call, this is something that top boys and some people like people doesn't want me to talk about. Some people thinks that they're special and they only can have top boys. Anyone can have top boys. Come on, guys. If you are an expert, if you are an expert in your area, but it's difficult to write 25,000 words. It's difficult to comment. Oh, come on, man. There's ways. Always there's ways to go in through the back door. Always. Always. What I want to tell you is it bad? If you don't start getting the batch of the top boys, it's easy. Just to let you know, I will show you how it's easy later. You need to know exactly where to write, how to write, and when to write. You have to be eligible. So it's sometimes if you're not eligible, it takes 1 month. But whatever top boys, you can get it in less than 1 month. Okay, there's like specific things. We have a service for this, but for you it's going to be free of charge. But what I want to tell you is, I was doing it on the old way for a long time. No, man, yeah, like no way. For example, some recommendations for me. Uh, writing the comments on Pulse. It's the articles from LinkedIn. This is key. Go to your go. I put three tips. That was like write on the topic you want, comment the people you want, and write like answer every day like 100 responses from articles and use ChatGPT. Like the I think Taplio is doing very well. Taplio has a small tool that it actually we're going to add the same one in Scrying that you can answer directly on the polls and articles, but it just doesn't make sense the amount of work you have to do. And by the way, having the top voice badge doesn't make you to have more views. I have experimented myself. Why? I have two LinkedIn accounts. Alejandro, if you go and see on LinkedIn, I have two exactly the same accounts. So I photocopy two accounts exactly the same. And one of them I'm posting one post without the top voice and one without the top voice. Same post. This is an experiment we did, and we got exactly the same views. It's funny,
Oh.
man. It's like and two same profiles, different audience. I did the same post. One got I don't know 2,500 views. The other one very few views. I tell you one, and then one with top boys. So it doesn't make any difference on the reach you have. But it's nice to have it, and it makes you feel that
Hmm.
you feel special. So on the end, I will. Don't worry, I will. I'll get you the top boys, man. In less than 30 days, I give you my word that you have it, and it's nice. And some people was giving shit to me saying, "Oh, this that." Oh man, come on! I am on the business area. I'm working my ass off. I'm not doing it, so I get help from someone. In the end, is
Hmm.
um. I have one thing, and it's not for the top boys. Sometimes I have given my LinkedIn to people outside to write for me on as if it was me. It didn't work. Like I I had a very good like every time I had good traction is because I put my energy to it. Every
Hmm.
time I delegated something so personal as posting on my on LinkedIn, it's gone. It's funny. LinkedIn the same for social media. So now I'm kind of like trying to automate some Instagram videos and stuff. I had like 300 views, I 300 likes, nothing big, but like for when I delegate it to someone with videos, it's gone to 30 views. That's it, it's gone. So automate, delegate, but man, the energy you have to be super powerful to make sure with delegation and automation and AI is going to keep having the energy. I don't know how. Like only very special people, like I don't know, you see Gary Vee, and only special people, very powerful, is going to help them big time. If you don't know how to use it, it's going to harm you big time because automation, AI, have to have your own energy on it.
Hmm. Yeah, so we keep this as one of the last messages. So we are almost ending. Gerard, it has been a pleasure having you here. But this is the AI Coffee podcast. And I always, at the end of every interview, ask the same theme. So, which is your favorite type of coffee? And
Okay.
also, let us know how can, if anyone is interested about what you said about, for example, asking you how to become a LinkedIn top voice or like asking for your services, how can it be possible?
Um, Go to my LinkedIn, Gerard Comte Duran, and you can find me there. My favorite coffee, um, I will tell you it's with my partner on the caravan somewhere lost in the mountains. And I
Hmm.
seriously don't care which coffee, but it's more like who I am with. So that's for you to tell you.
Hmm.
And about my services, um, I go to LinkedIn and find me there and give me a shout.
Hmm. I guess that this coffee you mentioned is a really good one. Yeah, no matter if it's even tea.
Yeah, it's true. Sometimes we used to use soluble coffee on like in the street, like somewhere nice. But it's funny, no? That sometimes we are so the P60 or whatever grain, however. Oh man, no. When you are
True.
in love, they give you dirty water and you think it's the most beautiful coffee in the world. So, no, just that from my
Mm,
point of view.
great. So I don't know if you have any other things to say or yeah.
Mm, It's a tool that I found yesterday. It's called Mapify.
Hmm.
I'm just like today is my day because we have to do some mental maps from some strategy. So I give this Mapify. I haven't seen it and I haven't gone in depth. But it's like, oh, is this really working? So you put your ideas and the strategy and it makes you like a Miro, but it's called
Hmm.
Mapify. It's not a promotional thing. It's just something that today was I wanted to work on this. That's my tip of the day as well.
A final tip. Okay. So with that, I would like to thank you for coming here.
Thank you. Thank you to you. Thank you for everyone who's listening.
And thank you also for the audience if you are listening to this. Also, subscribe to the podcast. This is free. This is for you. This is made with love, also. So, this is going to be for the next time as well. Bye bye.
Woohoo! Bueno.